Yo, what's going on, you guys? Drum Machine Addicts is back again with another highly requested tutorial, and today we're talking about some of the few differences between MPC 2.0 and MPC 1.9.6. So we're going to start with MPC 2.0, then I'm going to close this screen out and go into MPC 1.9.6 to show you all the differences between the software. Generally speaking, they're about the same, right? Except MPC 2.0, as we know, has access to audio tracks, and the user interface has been completely revamped. So while there are a few differences, there are major differences, right? This one is clearly black, blue, and red. The other one was gray, red, splash of color here and there. Not gonna lie, I like 1.9.6 a lot. MPC 2.0 is cool. I bounce between the two, just usually depends on how my workflow is. Now, if we look at the user interface, we can see what's changed, right? Normally, I would have to go to Program Edit if I wanted to do something with a pad, right? But for added convenience, right next to the actual program, they put the pad too. So say if I wanted to put effects on a particular pad, all I would have to go to is right here. Say if I want to put MPC 3000 on pad A1, it's not going to be on pad A2. So they make it pad specific, excuse me. So I can go ahead and switch between pads as I want to, and it doesn't affect the entire program. With that being said, you can mute pads, you can solo pads, you can do sends and returns on these pads, and I don't have to switch between screens. So from a user workflow experience, that's pretty good. On top of that, you still have the program strip right here for the program you're using, as well as the sub mixes, outputs you want to do. Same thing with the pads though. That's what makes this kind of crazy. On top of that, we also noticed that they shifted the program up here, and they've also shifted the track up here too. So now in order to switch between programs and stuff like that, you would have to do it up here. Or if you want to switch between tracks, you have to do it up here as well too. Cool thing about that though is this also has a drop down menu as well, so that you can switch between drum programs, key groups, plugins, the whole shebang, right? And same thing with sequences. If you want to set particular parameters for your sequences, it's no longer at the bottom of the screen like it is in 1.9.6. It's actually up here, so you can switch between 8 bars, 10 bars, 6 bars, 4 bars, whatever you want to do. You can change your BPM, and you can loop it up here if you want to. All that withstanding, if you notice the up toolbar up here, this is for your track view, your program edit, sample edit, and now the dedicated pad mixer, track view, sampler, and then of course your looper mode. So with those things, as you can see, most of the stuff remains consistent for the most part, but there are a few differences here and there. If I want to reach the browser, it's now down here. My project notes, all that stuff, all my expansions, everything is in a different place, but it's really cool for that fact. Now I'm going to close the screen and I'm going to show you MPC 1.9.6. There. Now, as you can see, we are in the good old MPC 1.9.6. From what you can see, the user interface is way different than what we had before, but some things remain true. Like if you're in your browser and you want to switch between your folders, you can click on the numbers up here and they'll switch between them effortlessly, right? Same way if you want to access your sounds, your expansions, all of these sounds come from MPC. Also, even the same thing with your preferences, right? So let's make sure my user interface or my audio interface is matching up. So cool. So it's picking up the mic I'm using and everything, even down to vintage mode. If you do this in MPC 2.0, it's basically the same too. So not much has changed in that front. But notice the track view right here in the sequencer view. It's a lot simpler in 1.9.6, and it's something that I'm not going to lie, I appreciate a lot more about the earlier version than I do the new version. So if I want to switch between my program types, it's a simple drop down menu. I don't need all the symbols and stuff. I can just switch how I want to switch from a drop down menu with the words. Much simpler, especially if I don't know what the symbols mean and it's taking a while for the words to pop up, right? But on top of that, if you want to change tracks, you can just do it right here. If you want to add a program, there's a plus sign right there. Really think that's something they should bring back. All of my cue links and stuff are right here. In 2.0, you have to make sure that you press some stuff at the bottom to keep it on the screen. Otherwise, it'll disappear, and that kind of irks me about it, but it's cool. No complaints. But yeah, aside from that, you have your program edit, your pad mixer, your channel mixer. So notice that these icons aren't arranged the same in 2.0. They're switched around. Your track view, your next sequence, sampler, sample edit. So yeah, as you can see from the icons that are up here, things are starting to look a little different, right? But that remains the same. This is something you could do in 2.0 too, to switch between the two types of screens that you have. And your automation button is up here now in the earlier version for writing, for it to be off, or for it to read. You can switch between your sequences up here. So if you have MPC 1.9.6 and you were wondering what 2.0 is like, those are pretty much the main differences. Some things have changed as far as, I want to say that they rebuilt the audio engine. But aside from that, the user interface just has a few key differences, but trust me, you're not missing out on too much if you don't need audio tracks and you don't need real time stretch, which hasn't been worked out yet, or rather hasn't been released yet, and should be in the official version of 2.0 and not the beta. So with that said, this is just going to be part one. As more things come along and we learn more things about 2.0, we'll continue to show you the differences between 2.0 and 1.9.6. But for now, you have Drum Machine Addicts. If you have any questions, don't forget to hit us at drummachineaddicts@gmail.com. Otherwise, we'll see you next time. Peace.